For the very first time on this Ducati 937, they've got rid of the trellis frame, which has been the signature of that motorcycle for about 30 years.
And if I look at the bike also, right, when I'm looking at it at this angle, I see that it's very sleek in design as well.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
You're right, it is very sleek. It is very narrow. So it's got minimalistic design that will not grab too much of unwanted attention, yet it looks very elegant. To give you a reference of what this feels like, this feels like a bloody Duke 390 on steroids.
Whoa.
So that's how nimble it is.
Alright. Is this really a monster?
Everybody's a gangster till they see the monster.
What is the maintenance cost of a Ducati and a Monster in specific?
A lot of people have this in their minds that Ducatis are high maintenance. For a general service, they're more or less the same like any other motorcycle. This is the Ducati Monster Plus. So now they don't have these Monster 795, 796, 821 and 1200. No confusing numbers. There's just one Monster now. This is 188 kilos curb weight and 166 kilos dry.
Okay.
That is 18 kilos lighter than its predecessor, the Monster 821.
We have this very beautiful Monster today here with us, and our viewers have a couple of questions for you, so you can please answer those questions.
Viewers ko questions.
Bro, certain. Achha.
The on-road price of this motorcycle in Bangalore is 17 lakhs.
Okay.
This is the plus variant. The plus variant is about 17 lakhs. And we are asking just...
Hello and welcome to a new episode of the Moto Talk series featuring Farhan. My name is Ibrahim and I'm going to be your host for this series. Today we have this very beautiful red color Monster 937 here with us. And we're going to talk about this particular bike and some questions revolving around them. And who better to answer again than our very own Mr. Farhan. Okay, Farhan, so we have this very beautiful Monster here with us today over here, and there are some questions that I have for you, and it would be great if you could answer those questions, yeah?
Sure.
So the first question to you, is this really a Monster? Because it does not look like the older Monsters, and how does it differ from the older Monsters?
Actually, you're right. It looks very different from the older Monsters. Ducati made a very bold move to get rid of that iconic trellis frame, which was there on the motorcycle for about 30 years from its inception. And for the very first time on this Ducati 937, they've got rid of the trellis frame, which has been the signature of that motorcycle for about 30 years. In fact, that became like a definition of what a naked motorcycle should look like. It looked very minimalistic with proper frame exposed. That is something that people loved. So now we have an aluminium front frame on the motorcycle here, and this is a fiberglass polymer reinforced frame on the rear. These are two separate parts, of course, so in case of a crash you don't have to replace the entire chassis. Yes, it's got lighter wheels, lighter engine components, lighter frames. All of this has made the motorcycle about 18 kilos lighter than its predecessor, the Monster 821. That's a lot of weight saving.
Correct.
And that totally changes the dynamics of the motorcycle. And another thing is, so back when they designed the Monster about 30 years ago, it was a stripped down variant of the Superbike that they had back then. So Ducati Superbike with the fairings removed, whatever it looked like, that's what the designer wanted in the Monster. He wanted a stripped down variant of the Superbike. So back then it was the trellis frame, and that continued for some time. Now the Panigale also gets a monocoque frame. Whether it's the V2 or the V4, they have a monocoque chassis, which is very minimalistic and very purposeful. So this is also inspired from the Ducati Panigale V4.
And if I look at the bike also, right, when I'm looking at it at this angle, I see that it's very sleek in design as well.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
You're right. It is very sleek. It is very narrow. So it's got minimalistic design that will not grab too much of unwanted attention. Yet it looks very elegant. The lines are very beautiful, and also the seat on this is not very wide. It is narrow, which makes it easier for all kind of riders to ride the motorcycle comfortably. I'm 6 feet tall. I can comfortably ride this motorcycle, and also I feel the shorter riders can also have a very good reach because of the narrowed down seat now.
Okay. All right. That's great, Farhan. All right. So let's move on to the second question. Who is this bike for?
Yep. So this motorcycle is meant for people maybe upgrading from the KTM 390 or the likes,
Okay.
or the 300cc category.
Okay.
And they want to look beyond the Trident 660 or so. They want more than that 80 bhp that comes with the Trident
Understood.
660. They want about 100 plus bhp. This motorcycle is meant for them. Now the options in the market would be something like a Kawasaki Z900 or the Triumph Street Triple. Now the Z900 is a lot more heavier than this, and it makes about 10 bhp more.
Alright.
And the pricing that it comes at, it is very aggressive. So for
Correct.
those of you who want that bulky look and you want that smooth inline 4-cylinder engine and the sound from the inline 4-cylinder, should look at something like the Z900. The closest competition to this is the Street Triple 765R or the RS.
Okay.
In terms of pricing, it is very close to the RS.
Oh,
It is
okay.
little more than the RS. Where this motorcycle shines is it's got good amount of torque. This makes about 111 bhp, which is close to the Street Triple R. But then this makes about 93 Nm of torque, which
Okay.
is much higher than the Street Triple R, which makes about 77 Nm of torque. So that shows what is the highlight of this motorcycle. It is the torque, it is the fun factor.
Okay.
So I think it is for people for whom the sound and that inline 4-cylinder is not very important, but they want something extremely nimble and extremely fun to ride with full of character. The Ducati Monster is for them.
All right. Just adding on to that question, Farhan, what is the actual weight of this bike? If I may ask you that.
So this is 188 kilos curb weight and 166 kilos dry.
Okay.
That is 18 kilos lighter than its predecessor, the Monster 821.
Okay.
That's a lot of weight saving thanks to the change in the chassis, the wheels, and the engine components. All of it has reduced the weight by about 18 kilos.
Okay. All right.
And to give you a reference of what this feels like, this feels like a bloody Duke 390 on steroids.
Whoa.
So that's how nimble it is.
All right. That's a nice way to put it across, Farhan. All right. So moving on to our third question. So, what are the pros and cons of this bike?
Yeah. So the pros of this motorcycle, I would say this is full of character because of this L-twin engine configuration. It is loaded with a lot of torque. So you have that grunt right from the word go. And usually the L-twins or the V-twins are known for initial acceleration and not so much in the top end.
Correct.
This one has that character down low,
Okay.
and yet it has decent top end. This still does about 250 kilometers per hour top
Whoa.
speed.
Okay.
So that is decent numbers. So, but what makes Monster stand apart from its competition is the very strong initial torque that it has. That makes it extremely enjoyable to ride. The second advantage I would say is it's feature loaded with a lot of electronics. It's got most of the electronics, the quick shifter, the auto blipper, the riding modes. It's got a TFT display. It's got Bluetooth connectivity, and also it's got launch control. 3 levels of launch control, which is not very popular in this segment.
Correct.
It's not really needed also on an urban motorcycle like this, but then Ducati still offers it. I mean, the next advantage of this is the motorcycle is very compact. So that makes it not grab too much of attention. At the same time, it looks very elegant. The lines that it has, the design language that it has, it is quite elegant, and that still makes it look like a proper Ducati. It still is, a Ducati, which is like the Ferrari of the motorcycles. And the next advantage, of course, is the handling of this motorcycle. This is a great advantage compared to its competition because this is extremely nimble. As I said, it feels like a Duke 390 on steroids. So that kind of weight with 111 bhp and 93 Nm of torque, you can imagine the kind of power to weight ratio it will have.
All right.
So these are the advantages. Now the disadvantages.
Coming down to the cons of the bike.
Yeah. One of the cons is if you are somebody who wants to have a good sounding motorcycle, you might not be really happy with the sound on this. This sounds a bit raw. It doesn't sound like an inline 4-cylinder or the triple cylinder,
Okay.
which a lot of people love. In fact, we all love it.
Correct.
But then this motorcycle does not have that because it's an L-twin. But that is the character of this motorcycle.
Correct.
This is different from those.
Correct.
Okay. Although it has a very unique growl, post 6,000 RPM, it has a very deep exhaust growl.
Okay.
It feels like as if the turbo kicks in or the valves open, something of that sort,
Okay.
which makes it sound a bit different. It's got a character of its own, but yeah, sound is not something that everybody is going to love. And again, another con, if I have to really nitpick, you might feel a bit of heat. Compared to a few other motorcycles in its class, you might feel a little more heat. Although it's not too bad, like its bigger siblings, the Panigale V4 and all that. In very bad stop and go traffic is where you feel this kind of heat, and still the cooling system does a very good job of keeping it under check. So it is still at around 105, 106 degrees, 107 max. I have seen is 108 degrees.
Okay.
And somehow it manages it. So it's that heat dissipation which slightly you will feel coming onto your legs.
Okay.
But that was after a long ride for me. I did Mysore to Bangalore and then I entered the peak Bangalore traffic, which was quite bad.
Okay.
So as per that, I feel the kind of riding that I did and then, hard riding that I did and then I entered the city, it is okay as per that, but still, yeah, it is an L-twin. It does heat up a bit. Not anything of the sort that you would want to get off the bike or anything, but yeah, you do feel some heat.
Okay. Another big question that I have in person, right, in particular, is what is the maintenance cost of a Ducati and a Monster in specific, right?
So a lot of people have this in their minds that Ducatis are high maintenance. For a general service, they're more or less the same like any other motorcycle.
Okay.
So let's say you're servicing a Kawasaki, you'll have to service it every 6,000 kilometers or 6 months.
Okay.
Here you have to service it every 15,000 kilometers or 1 year.
Okay.
Okay. So on a Kawasaki, you still spend about 8,000 to 10,000 rupees every 6,000 kilometers or 6 months. Here you're doing it every year. Maybe it might be a little more, the service cost, but then you're doing it once in 15,000 kilometers.
Yeah.
So that way, if you look at it, it is more or less the same, or maybe sometimes even lesser than the Kawasaki for that matter.
Okay.
Now, where it gets a bit pricey is only when you get to the Desmo service. On this particular motorcycle, you get to the Desmo service at 30,000 kilometers, which is like a major service in the Ducatis. That can be expensive, but then it's only when you get to the 30,000 kilometers. How many of you actually get to that kind of Vodo? It takes a lot of time usually for super bikes to get to that
Correct. Yeah.
Auto reading. So yeah, it's once in 30,000 kilometers a Desmo service. That way, most of the motorcycles have the major service. Even the Triumphs have the major service at 20,000 kilometers.
Yeah.
Likewise, on this motorcycle, it is at 30,000 kilometers. The duration is quite long.
The kilometers range is what you're telling is little more longer than the other bikes.
Correct.
Okay.
So that way, I think it is still manageable. It's not as people have it in their minds.
Okay.
And the modern day Ducatis are a little more reliable than the older motorcycles. Some people have that mindset that, the Japanese are always more reliable and sorts. But the Europeans have also, worked a lot. They've done a lot of R&D and they've improved on the reliability of the motorcycle.
Talking about this bike that we have in particular today, right? Can you give us a brief about this bike over here?
Yep. So this is the Ducati Monster Plus. So now they don't have these Monster 795, 796, 821 and 1200. No confusing numbers. There's just one Monster now, a Monster 937. And this is the Plus variant.
Okay.
Plus variant comes with this additional tiny windscreen and a seat cowl. It is not on the motorcycle right now, but it also gets seat cowl. Okay. And in terms of accessories, it's got all the protective accessories from Evotech. It's got the fork sliders, the radiator guard, the frame sliders. It's got the under engine guard, and it's got a tail tidy also from Evotech. So these are all about 1.5 lakhs worth.
Okay.
The on-road price of this motorcycle in Bangalore is 17 lakhs.
Okay.
This is the Plus variant. The Plus variant is about 17 lakhs. And we are asking just 10 lakh 70,000 for this motorcycle, which is again a big saving for anybody looking to get a Monster, which is as good as new, because this is a 2024 model.
Correct.
Runs just 2,250 kilometers.
Okay.
As good as new, still under OEM warranty up to 2026 April, which can further be extended also by the buyer.
Okay.
So that way, it's a great opportunity to get a motorcycle which is as good as new, but with a big price saving.
All right. So for all you monster enthusiasts over there, this is a very good bike. All right, Farhan. So if you have to summarize this bike, what would you describe it as?
So if I have to tell you very briefly, everybody is a gangster till they see the
Monster.
Just kidding, guys. So this motorcycle is an extremely fun machine,
Okay.
and the tagline itself says it, just fun. So, or the older tagline was mad for fun.
Okay.
Okay, so this particular motorcycle is made for pure fun. It is extremely nimble, very exciting to ride, very torquey, full of character, handles like a dream, and it's a Ducati, of course, which is like the Ferrari of motorcycles. It is, you have that entry into the lineage of Ducati motorcycles. It's a brand image that has a lot of value, and of course, it is just pure fun.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Farhan, for answering all our questions today over here. And if you guys want more bike content and talk about different bikes that we have in our store, then please follow our Instagram page, NAFS Motors, and also please follow our YouTube channel, which is Farhan's YouTube channel called
Farhan Khan _RR.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching, and thank you so much, Farhan, once
Thank
again.
you so much.